Hello students, myself Dr. Sandeep Pai. In continuation with previous lecture, I will be dealing with FIBSc Botany Semester 1 Paper 2 and into that BO 112 Plant Morphology and Anatomy. As we have seen earlier that there are 2 credits into this, and I will be dealing with the second credit, which comprises of anatomy, tissues, types of tissues, internal organization of plant body, into which we have already completed anatomy, and into types of tissues we have completed 2 types of tissues. And today's lecture we will be dealing with, out of these 4 types, we will be dealing with the third type, 4.3, complex or vascular tissues. Vascular tissues are complex tissues rather, and into that we are going to see components of xylem and phloem, types of vascular bundles and their functions. So let us first understand what are vascular tissues. They are complex tissues as described earlier. They comprise of xylem and phloem. They together, xylem and phloem together, are called as vascular bundles. They are distributed in stellar region. What is stele? Stele is nothing but a vascular bundle with pith and pith rays in pericycle. So into dicots, vascular bundles are arranged in rings, whereas in monocots we will see vascular bundles scattered. Vascular bundles scattered in pith, which are called as medullary vascular bundles, like in example mirabilis or amaranth. Vascular bundles in cortical region of stem, they are called as cortical bundles, example casuarina. Into vascular tissues, first we will look into xylem. What is xylem? Xylem, the word xylem is coming from the Greek word xylon. Xylon means wood. So it is principal water and mineral conducting tissue. It means that xylem conducts water and minerals from roots to different parts of the plant. It is composed of tracheids and or vessels, fibers and parenchyma. Xylem characteristics can be seen as there are primary xylems which contain proto and metaxylems. Protoxylem is formed first and then metaxylem. The name itself indicates that proto comes first and then metaxylem. Protoxylem consists of tracheids, vessels and parenchyma. Parenchyma which have fibers, which doesn't have fibers. Protoxylem doesn't have fibers. Metaxylem with presence of thickenings in the form of network or pits in the secondary walls. The types of primary xylem depends on position of protoxylem. So if protoxylem is on periphery and metaxylem is into center, like observed into roots, this type of primary xylem is known as exarch primary xylem. Protoxylem in the center and metaxylem at periphery, like we see in case of stem, such kind of primary xylem is called as endarch type. And when metaxylem is flanked with protoxylems on 2 sides, that means into center there will be metaxylem and on both sides there will be protoxylem, like we observe such type into fern rachis. This type is known as mesarch primary xylem. Xylems or xylem elements are made up of 4 elements which comprise of tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. First, let us see how the xylem tissue looks like into a section. So into this particular picture you see that part A, the region which is shown over here, and on the other side is wood parenchyma. B, which is here, these 2 things and these things are protoxylems. C tracheids and wood fibers. So the in between these two metaxylems, the larger ones are metaxylem, these are metaxylems, and the protoxylem and metaxylem, in between them whatever is filled over here is all the tracheids and wood fibers. Here E is the meristematic tissue. You will see that the cells are even, like we have studied earlier into meristematic cells. They are evenly arranged, right? So these are cambium. This is cambium. Then on the other side, F, you will see this as phloem, right? These are all phloem tissue. These are all phloem tissues. And lastly, G, these are sclerenchyma cells. Sclerenchyma cells. So this is how vascular tissues are shown in different vascular elements with positions of different vascular elements. So vascular elements like wood parenchyma, protoxylem, tracheids, wood fibers, metaxylem, cambium, phloem, and sclerenchyma are arranged into vascular bundles. Now let us concentrate upon xylem elements. First, into xylem elements, we will consider xylem tracheid. They are elongated tube-like cell, hard, thick, having lignified walls and large cavity. They are devoid of protoplast, hence dead. Protoplast is the cell without cell wall. That means whatever the inner material of the cell is there, all is present into protoplast. So if protoplast is not there into cell, the cell is termed as dead. That's why xylem is termed as, or xylem tracheids particularly are termed as dead cells. Their ends are tapering, blunt or chisel-like. Chisel is a shape like a sword. They are fundamental and primitive type of cells. So they are fundamental and primitive type of xylem cells. So you will find fundamental as well as primitive type. The TS transverse section shows circular, polygonal or polyhedral shape. It may be annular, the spelling mistake, there is a spelling mistake over here. It should be annular, spiral, scalariform, reticulate and pitted. Pitted are most common. Center of secondary walls is called as torus. When we say it is pitted, the cell, I'll try to draw over here. If this is a cell, into that cell you will see there will be a pit. That means this all is covered with some other material like lignin, right? And there is a bordered pit into this. The central lumen or the central space in case of this pitted xylem tracheids is known as torus. The functions of xylem tracheids, we know that xylem in all takes part into conduction of water and solutes. Likewise, xylem tracheids also function into transport of water and solutes from roots to stem to leaves, and it also provides a mechanical support. Being a dead tissue, they are hard, right? And that's why we say that xylem tracheids also provide mechanical support. Xylem elements, into that we have seen xylem tracheids. Let us find out that the different types of xylem tracheids as mentioned earlier. First, annular. So you will see that annular rings are there here. Annular means ring like. Then B and C both are tracheal fibers. D is spiral. The arrangement of xylem tracheids itself shows that it is spiral. Scalariform, you will see this random scalariform formation into figure E. And lastly, pitted, you will see here pits which are there onto the tracheids. Xylem element or xylem vascular tissues showing simple pits and bordered pits. So what simple pits look like and what bordered pits look like, we can see over here. The first figure A is for simple pits. You will see these are the pits onto the transverse section. If you see the pits, you will see it is simple. There is no border onto here. Whereas when you go to the figure B, you will see that the section is taken from this particular area here, and you will see that there will be a border. The earlier figure what I had drawn, this complete thing is the pit, and then there is a border over here, right? And into this border, the center part, which is known as torus. Next, into the xylem vessels, we will try to understand what are xylem vessels, particularly trachees, into xylem elements, beg my pardon. They are long cylindrical tube-like with lignified walls and a wide central lumen. So they have a wide central lumen into it. They are devoid of protoplast, hence they will be called as dead. They are arranged in longitudinal series in which the partition walls are perforated. Partition walls which differentiate one cell from the other cell, they are perforated. So what happens is, because of this, sideways movement of water and minerals can occur. So there is a large pore, simple perforation plates are there in between two vessels. There are several pores into this. Multiple perforation plate is arranged in between two xylem vessels. So what it happens is, when there is a sieve-like perforation plate in between two xylem vessels, the material which is passed from one vessel to the another vessel, they get filtrated. So any unwanted material is left behind, and the clear material or clear water and mineral is passed through the one vessel to another vessel. So based on thickening, they are again annular, spiral, scalariform, reticulate and pitted. So the same type of arrangements and same type of thickenings we have seen in case of xylem tracheates, and in case of xylem vessels we will see all same points here. Their functions particularly to define, like xylems, like xylem tracheates, xylem vessels also transport water and solutes from roots and leaves more efficiently than tracheates. Because of the perforated plates, maybe they are more efficient to transport water and solutes from roots to leaves. So if you see the figure of xylem vessels, you will see here that A and B part are simple perforation plates. So you will see these plates, these are sections taken from the xylem vessels. You will see that into TS it's simple, okay, and C and D are multiple perforation plates. You can see here there are multiple perforations onto the section. So there are small perforations which are there, which connect one end of vessel to another end of vessel. And the last E figure shows the end of element showing union. So in this fashion they are connecting to one another. So if this D figure, if I consider here, the next vessel will be arranged somewhere here in this fashion, right? So there will be perforated plates over here. So this is how the arrangement of xylem vessels are there into plants. Xylem vascular tissues showing different types of vessels. The types of vessels what we have learned earlier are A, annular, B, spiral, C, scalariform, right, and D, reticulate. So pardon this spelling mistake, it's reticulate. E, simple pits. See here the pits are simple. And into F it's a border pit. So you will have a pit center and then there will be a border around it. So there is border pits. Like the earlier tracheates, vessels also have these many types. The extra type which vessels have is this reticulate. Now the third part we are going to see xylem into xylem elements. It is xylem fibers. Xylem fibers, they are sclerenchymatous cells associated with tracheids and vessels. That means they will have tracheids as well as vessels with them. Xylem fibers and or wood fibers. Fibers elongated dead cells with lignified walls. So fibers are elongated, they are dead cells. Being into xylem, we are considering that most of the cells, most of the tissues are dead with lignified walls. There are two types, fiber tracheids and libriform fibers. Into xylem fibers, we have two types, fiber tracheids and libriform fibers. Fiber tracheids are intermediate between fibers and tracheids. Libriform fibers are narrow with thickened cell walls, disrupted central lumen, so the lumen is disrupted, and simple pits into that. They function into mechanical support. So unlike the earlier two types, xylem fibers are just meant to mechanical support. So you can mark out this particular function where we consider that xylem takes active part into conduction of water and minerals from roots to different parts, but in case of xylem fibers we say that they are for mechanical support. This is how the vascular tissue of xylem fibers look like. A and B are fibers with highly thickened walls. So there are thick walls here. So you will see the central cavity is very small and the walls are very thick. The walls are very thick into this. C is fibers with interlocked ends and simple pitted thickenings. So these are interlocked ends. You will see it's mesh-like arrangement, network-like arrangement, which can be also seen in the transverse section here. And they have these simple pitted thickening. So there are gaps in between which connect one cell or one xylem fiber with another xylem fiber. Okay, and E, so here the pitted thing, fiber tracheids, D, fiber tracheids can be seen over here, and E, septate fiber tracheids. So you will see there are septa. Septa is division in between the tracheids, so which is not present in case of D. And in case of E, you will see there is septa, which will form a node and an internode into that. Now we will move on to the fourth xylem element, which is xylem parenchyma. They are living parenchyma, or living parenchyma is a constituent of xylem of most of the plants. So when it comes to xylem parenchyma, we say it is living. Primary xylem has thin cell wall with cellulose. Secondary xylem has thick lignified and pitted cell wall. Secondary parenchyma occurs in two forms, axial or wood and ray parenchyma. Axial, which is elongated cell, vertical surfaces end to end attached. So vertical surfaces from the roots to the upper part of the plants, they are connected and they have end to end attached. And then ray parenchyma, they are radial or transverse series, the horizontal part. They function in storage of starch. Unlike the earlier xylem elements, this xylem element, xylem parenchyma, take part into storage of starch and fatty acid. In some, they also store tannins and crystals. Ray parenchyma is in radial transport of water. So you will see that there is a part of xylem parenchyma, which is ray parenchyma, which is connecting the vertical xylem elements to the horizontal ones, where the ray parenchyma takes active part into radial transport of water. This is how the xylem parenchyma looks like. Since it is living tissue, we will see that there will be all cell organelles into it. And axial parenchyma looks like this, and ray parenchyma looks in the other way. So there will be arrangement of partition which are having pits into it, which will have openings, and they will be passing of material from one to another side. The next vascular tissue which we are going to see after xylem is phloem. Phloem, the Greek word comes from phlos, which means bark. It is food conducting tissue. Xylem is water conducting and phloem is food conducting tissue. It is composed of sieve tubes. Phloem is also called as bast or lactome. Phloem elements are sieve elements which again have cells and tubes, sieve cells and sieve tubes. Then phloem element also has companion cells, parenchyma, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Let us start with the first. We look into sieve elements. And into sieve elements we will look into sieve cells particularly. They are narrow, elongated with conspicuous sieve areas tapering at the end. Conspicuous means small. So they are without conspicuous sieve areas tapering at the end. Most primitive than tubes. So sieve cells are most primitive than the tubes. They are enucleated. They are present in lower vascular plants and gymnosperms. Now let us see sieve elements into that sieve tubes. They are long. Unlike sieve cells, they are long, slender bodies arranged in series, living cells with nucleus. So phloem elements, most of them or all of them are living cells. The difference is sieve cells are enucleated and sieve tubes will have a nucleus into them. Sieve tubes again, they have end walls perforated in sieve-like manner called plates. Cytoplasmic connection is established through this. So one cell communicates with the another cell through the perforated plates or the end walls. At maturity, sieve tubes contain partial cytoplasm, large vacuole and large number of longitudinally running transcellular strands. The function is for translocation of food material from leaves to different organs, which is the primary function of in general phloem. So into the figure we see here, these are sieve plates, right? So you can see sieve plates over here into this. There are sieve tubes. These are sieve tubes, white color what we see. These are sieve tubes, and then two sieve tubes are flanked in between with companion cells. So they are, the name itself indicates they are companions to sieve tubes. So we are going to see the details into the further sections. Further, these companion cells are outlined by phloem parenchyma, which have a function of support also, and then you will also see there are transcellular strands. So these are transcellular strands. These strands are connecting one cell to another cell. These are transcellular strands. So this is in longitudinal section into sieve tubes into LS. These all comprise of sieve tubes now, and into transverse section, sieve tubes can be seen over here. So these are sieve tubes. The hollow part which you can see is sieve tube, and this is the sieve plate where perforations can be observed. And these sieve tubes and sieve plates are again flanked, or rather I should say supported, with phloem parenchyma on the outer side. Right. So these are LS-TS of sieve tubes, and then in sieve cells into LS we see such kind of arrangement. These are sieve cells, and this is TS of sieve cell. The next part what we are going to see into phloem elements is companion cells. They are specialized parenchyma cells closely arranged with sieve elements. In cross section they are rounded or polygonal. these are living tissues. No matter phloem, when we say they are living tissues, cells have dense cytoplasm into that. So cells will have dense cytoplasm, they will have prominent nucleus and several vacuoles, where in case of earlier things we used to say that single large vacuole is present, but into companion cells there will be several large vacuoles and other cytoplasmic organelles. They also, the companion cells, we also say that starch grains are never found in them. So you won't find starch grains into them. There is no storage materials into companion cells. They are absent. See, companion cells are absent in pteridophytes and gymnosperms. They function in maintenance of pressure gradient, or rather saying that they maintain the pressure gradient in sieve tubes. Why? Because they are companion cells, they are on the sideways, they will always take water or give water to the sieve tubes. So they maintain the pressure gradient into sieve tubes, and they control passage of material and provide energy to sieve tubes. So they function, since being into near to the sieve tubes, they provide energy to the sieve tubes. Third part what we are going to see into phloem elements is phloem parenchyma. They are found associated with sieve elements. Cells are elongated, tapering to broadly cylindrical. These are living cells with dense cytoplasm and nucleus. They are absent in monopod. So phloem parenchyma is absent into monopod, and they are associated, the function is associated with storage of organic food material. So here in case of phloem parenchyma, which are the nearby tissues to the phloem, the earlier phloem elements, we see that they are associated with storage of organic food material. So whatever food is prepared, it will be stored into phloem. The fourth part which we are going to see is phloem fibers, or it is also called as bast fibers. So it is sclerenchymatous fibers in primary and secondary phloem. They are present into both of them. They are elongated cells with interlocked ends, so they are connected end to end. They are lignified. They have lignified cell walls with small pits onto them. They function into mechanical support to plant parts. So phloem fibers, like xylem fibers, they take part into supporting the complete plant. Now we will move on to see types of vascular bundles. Vascular bundles is a strand of tissue containing primary xylem and primary phloem, and sometimes enclosed by bundle sheath of parenchyma or fibers. According to the arrangement of xylem and phloem, the vascular bundles are of following type. So vascular bundles can be seen as radial, as conjoint. Into conjoint there may be collateral or bicollateral, and the third type would be concentric. Into concentric it may be amphivalsal or leptocentric, and or amphicribal, which is heterocentric. Let us go one by one in case of types of vascular bundles. Radial vascular bundle, they are having xylem and phloem as separate patches on alternate radii. Their characteristic feature into roots. So radial will be always observed into roots. They are primitive type of vascular bundles. Next is conjoint. Xylem and phloem occur side by side on same radius. So they will be present onto the same radius. Depending on position of phloem, they are of two types: collateral, most common found in stem and leaves of phanerogymes; xylem internal, phloem external on same radius. If strips of cambium is present, they are called as open type. If the strip is absent, that time it is called as closed type. The next part or next type in conjoint is bicollateral. Xylem is flanked with phloem on both the sides. So xylem will be into center and phloem on the outer side, on both the sides. In this case, the arrangement would be, there will be an outer phloem, OP into the bracket, suggests outer phloem then followed by outer cambium, then xylem into the center, inner cambium and inner phloem. This would be the arrangement in bicollateral. They are always of open type. Why? Because there will be cambium always present into such kind of bicollateral conjoint vascular bundles. The third type is concentric. Here, one type of vascular tissue, xylem or phloem, is surrounded by the other type. So, concentric, it forms a ring-like arrangement. Into concentric, there are two types, amphivalsal or leptocentric. Phloem surrounded by xylem. Example, Dracena, this is a type of amphivalsal or leptocentric type of vascular bundle. Amphicribal or hadrocentric, xylem surrounded by phloem. So, in first case, phloem surrounded by xylem, and into second case, xylem surrounded by phloem. Fern rhizome and Selaginella stem are the examples of amphicribal or heterocentric type of vascular bundles. So this picture clearly indicates us different types of vascular bundles. 1 and A are conjoint, collateral and open. So here you will see 1A, this as well as this. This particular is A, B, C, D, E, F are the cells how they look into microscope, whereas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the hand-drawn sketches where the arrangement just can be kept in mind. So here in case of first 1 and A, you will see that conjoint, collateral and open. When we say it is open, there is a cambium into that. Conjoint, xylem inner, phloem outer. Okay. And the second one is conjoint, collateral and closed. Here you will see there is no cambium. There is no cambium into this. That's why we call it as closed. The third type is conjoint bicollateral, where xylem is into center. Xylem into center. There will be a outer cambium and inner cambium. Then outer phloem and inner phloem. So this kind of sandwich, which is formed of xylem and phloem and cambiums, is known as conjoint, bicollateral and open type. So this type will be always open. So into case of concentric type, we say that when phloem is outer and xylem is into the center, we call it as amphicribal. When the phloem is into center and xylem onto the outer side, it is called as amphivalsal. The last part, the sixth type, 6 and F, the radial type of arrangement of vascular bundles can be observed. So radially, phloem and xylems are arranged onto different radii. So this is the radius from center to this part, center to this part. These are different radii, and onto different radii we will see xylems and phloems arranged onto it. So what are the functions of vascular tissues? Conduction of water and other nutrients. Root to leaves, xylem take care of it. Translocation of food, when it comes to translocation, it should be always phloem. Leaves to other organs, it will be phloem. Continuous and interconnected system in all the organs of the plant. So they are continuous from roots to stem to different types of roots, leaves, whatever it may be onto the plant, they are continuous and interconnected. Xylem gives mechanical strength. Yes, there will be a mechanical strength provided by xylem fibers as well as phloem fibers. Cambium, I hope everyone remembers this particular word. Cambium is lateral meristematic tissue. So into meristems we have already learned that. Functions in secondary wood formation in dicots and conifers. These are few of the references that I have taken. This particular book have been referred for preparation of this lecture, and the diagrams were taken from the book. Thank you.